Hey guys, it's Josh from Soul Studios. Just wanted to do a quick video today to show you how to use these old effects that I've fallen in love with, like some of the older Lexicon units, the PCM 70 I have, and also the Yamaha SPX 90. I've incorporated these into my mix setup lately, and really the effort to get them to work in Pro Tools is completely worth it in my opinion. But if you're like me, when you first started looking into some of these older units, you realize they have a mono input and a stereo output. And you're trying to figure out in your head, like, how can I make this work without a console within Pro Tools, inserting it as you would any other reverb or effects plugin. So I've got it working. I want to show you what I've done within Pro Tools to set that up. And that way, if you want to give one of these units a try, uh, you'll know how it works before it gets there and save yourself the trouble that I had to go through. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's say you want to run this lead vocal into the PCM 70. So what we're going to do is create actually two mono auxiliary channels, aux inputs, and let's just go ahead and say PCM 70. And we're going to pan hard left and right. I have the PCM 70 set up, one of my HDIOs, and it is under the IO menu. And you guys are familiar, like this is where my Audioscape opto compressor comes in on B9, which makes sense. Like if I've got a mono track here, like the lead vocal, I go insert the opto compressor, it's there. It just works. But like I said, when you're going mono into a unit and stereo back, because you do want to have a stereo effect, you don't want to have a mono reverb necessarily. So what you have to do to work around that is, let's do a mono bus. We're just going to pick one for now. And we'll go ahead and rename it just to keep things all tidied up in the session here. So we're sending mono on bus 1. And we're going to go that same bus input for both mono aux channels that we've created. So this is our send. We're going mono out, and we're coming back in on 2 channels because the PCM 70 has a stereo output. So the way we work around the insert issue, because that's where the problem is in Pro Tools, you can insert a mono track like we did with the Audioscape compressor, no problem, on a mono channel. You could insert a stereo compressor on a stereo audio track or aux channel with no problem, but you cannot do as an insert set it up to be mono on one end and stereo on the other. So what we're going to do, I have 2 of the Avid HDIO 16x16 analog interfaces, and so for those of you that have those, you're familiar with basically the first 8 channels being A 1 through 8. The next bank of 8 on that first interface is A 8 through 16. Then the first bank of 8 on your second interface would be labeled B1 through 8. And then the second bank of 8 on your second interface would be B9 through 16. And I believe I said 8 through 16 on A, but it would be 9 through 16. So anyway, there are a total of 4 groups of 8 between those 2 interfaces that go out. And then there's 4 groups of 8 that come back in. And so if you want something to work on an insert, whatever channel you sent out, it has to be the same one that comes back in to create that loop when you insert it into Pro Tools. Coming out of the first bank of 8 on my second interface, I've got B channel 3. Actually, let me pull this up. This visual might be a little bit easier to see how it's working here. You can see here on the PCM 70, this is actually B3 and 4. So we go out of channel 3 only. So I'm on the back of the unit, I've got a D sub to XLR snake going out and then coming back in. So B3 connects to the input of the PCM 70. B4 goes nowhere. I don't want to use that with something else because I'm using the returns of 3 and 4. So B3 out goes to the input of the PCM 70. It has 1 input. It has 2 outputs. Those come back in on B3 and 4 on the Avid interface. And then that allows me to use it as an insert, okay? So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. If it doesn't, leave me a comment below, and I'll be glad to address anything that maybe I'm not getting across here. I'm trying my best, but we've got the unit set up with our Avid interface, and we've got our mono bus within Pro Tools. We've got 2 mono aux tracks returning, and so we're going to insert on that first aux PCM 70L, which is B3, and on the other side we're going to do PCM 70R. Something else you can try, and I've done this, but for some reason I feel like it sounds a bit different. I don't know, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but give it a try and see what you think. If you wanted to create a new mono aux, and we'll just call this one PCM 72, that's going to create a mono auxiliary track here, okay, which that makes our input here work. Okay? Everything's fine there, but now we can't. Let me get rid of these guys for a sec. We can't insert, you'll see when I go to pull it up here, I can only do one side, right? Which would leave us with a mono reverb. So the way to get around that, and I've, like I said, I've done this and it seems to work, but for some reason I think the other way is better, but I do want to let you know about this in case you want to try it. So take something that's going to make your channel mono to stereo, and I usually just use like the mod delay, and so this is going to change your rest of your auxiliary channel here to stereo. The cool thing is, though, it leaves your input as a mono input. And what we do after that is we're able to now insert our PCM 70. And you know, you don't want anything before it affecting the sound, so you can just do your control command click to disable, and then it keeps it set up. Now, you know, that's quick and easy. I feel like for some reason it sounds a bit different. Again, I could be crazy, and I probably should just do a null test on this to find out for sure. There's 2 methods for you if you've wondered about how to use one of these awesome old units within Pro Tools. This is how you can do it. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I have not forgot about the review of this guy, or a pair of them actually, the Bee's Knees BU87 mics. It's coming up soon. I've gotten a little ambitious with what I want to try to do with it, so it's taking longer than I had planned. But I hope this video is helpful for you. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe, like the video if you will, ring the bell, and you'll know when the next video comes out. All right, thanks guys. Till next time.